Good morning, dear students. So let us begin with the new concept of the third chapter, that is cells, EMF, and internal resistance. This is one of the important concept. So you will get two derivations from this chapter, okay, and some definitions. So let us begin with the session. So now what are cells? What are these cells? We come across these cells in our daily life. We see the cells in our remote controls, right? Watches and in our phones, wall clock, etc. Cell is something which provides energy to our body. We see these cells in biology as well. We come across the word cells in biology. The biology students here will understand what is cell, okay, in case of biology. So what is cell in case of biology? Cell is a basic fundamental unit of life, right? It's a basic fundamental unit of life. If cell is functioning well, then our body is functioning well. A single cell is responsible for the living of all the organisms, right? If I'm not wrong, because I'm not that good in biology, but okay, a single cell is responsible for the living or the existence of the organisms. But in physics, cell is a device, okay? In physics, let me come to the physics now. In physics, cell is a device which is used to maintain the steady current, okay? It sees that the current is flowing in a steady manner. Now let us see this concept. In this concept, uh, the what do we study about cells? So here we are going to concentrate about the electronic cell. Okay, so what is cell? Cell is a device which is used to maintain the steady current in the circuit. So here in this concept we are going to study about the electronic cell. Okay, so what is cell defined as? Please write down. Cell is defined as a device. Cell is defined as the device which is used to maintain steady current in a circuit. Okay, steady current in a circuit. And the symbolic representation of a cell is like this. It is always represented like this. Okay, it has two lines, two vertical lines. One is the longer line and one is the shorter line. The longer line always indicates the positive end, and the shorter line always indicates the negative end. Okay, so this is how we represent the cell. So whenever in a circuit whenever you find this symbol in a circuit, then it is understood that it is representing a cell, or in common we call it as a battery. So here we call it as cell. There are many number of cells. Okay, there are many number of cells, but here we are going to study about the electronic cell. So now what is this electronic cell? The electronic cell is a device which uses electrolytic solution. Electrolytic solution, we have come across this word in the beginning of the chapter. Electrolytic solution. Electrolytic solution is a solution which allows electricity to pass through them. So these batteries use the electrolytic solution, okay, a chemical electrolytic solution. So this electronic cell is categorized into two types. They are of two types. One is the primary cell, and the second one is the secondary cell. Okay, so there are two types. One is primary cell and the secondary cell. So what do you mean by a primary cell? Primary cell means you cannot recharge them. Means once it is discharged or once it is used, the cell is of no use. You cannot recharge. It's of one time use. The most common batteries which we use in our remote controls, and remote controls, wall clocks, most of the things in our day to day life, we use the primary cell. Once the battery is gone, the clock stops working, the remote stops working, and we remove it, we throw it, we don't use it, we just throw it and we bring a new one and we put the new cell in the remote or the clock. So this is a primary cell. But there are some cells called as secondary cells. Okay, these cells can be recharged. They can be recharged. For example, our phone batteries, a cell, we keep them, right? We keep it for charging. When it discharges, we keep it for charging. Even there are cells where we can put it in a charger. They look like a primary cell. You might have seen it in your house. They look like a primary cell which we use in our remote, but they will be provided with a charger. You should put it in a socket and keep it for charging. Once the charge is discharged, and if you charge it again, the battery will be ready again. So those are the secondary cells, and primary cells cannot be recharged. So this is all about the primary cell and the secondary cell. Now let us understand how this electronic cell, that is the cell which uses electrolytic solution, is built. Let us understand the construction of the electronic cell. So let me erase this and I'll draw the diagram here. The construction of the electronic cell. Let us consider a container. So it will be a battery container, but for the simple diagram I'll just draw a container so that you can understand. Okay, it has a container like this. This container is filled with the electrolytic solution. It is filled with the electrolytic solution. So what is an electrolytic solution? It is a solution which allows current to pass through it. So it is an electrolytic solution. Okay, and this is called as electrolyte. This is called as electrolyte. Now I will insert two metal rods. So what I'm explaining about the construction or how the cells, electronic cells, are made. So now let us insert two metal rods. So this is one rod and this is one more rod. Okay, so let us insert two rods, and these rods are called as electrodes. What? These rods are called as electrodes. These are called as electrodes. Okay, they undergo some chemical reaction, because see, this is a chemical, electrolytic solution is nothing but some chemical. When you insert these rods, they undergo some chemical reaction. Due to this chemical reaction, the charge move towards the electrodes. Okay, there are charges in the solution. Due to that, they start moving towards the electrodes, and because of the movement of charges, there will be a potential difference across the electrodes. Right, as the charges move, there is a potential difference. So therefore we see the potential difference across the electrodes. The left rod, this one gets positively charged. What happened? It gets positively charged, and this one gets negatively charged. Okay, and the potential at this will be V minus. Let us call the potential at this rod as V minus, and the potential at negative electrode B, sorry, this is V positive and this is V negative. Okay, V plus and V minus. Okay, so this is how the battery is built. Now let P be the point and also A be the point on a rod that is positive rod. So let P be the point here and A be the point here on a positive rod. And similarly, let N be the point here and B be the point here on the negative rod. What is P? P indicates positive, N indicates negative, and let A and B be the points. So this is how the electronic cell is constructed. The potential, now the potential at all the points on the positive rod, if I consider the potential here on any point, if you take any point on this rod, the potential is same. Okay, similarly, if you take any point on this rod, the potential here also will be same. There is a potential difference between these rods, but if you consider any point on this rod, it is the same. Now we have to find out the potential difference across both the electrodes. This is same and this is same, but there is a difference between positive rod and the negative rod. So we have to find out the potential difference between both the electrodes. That means we have to find out the amount of current produced by these electrodes. Here we are not supplying any external circuit. For time being, we have not provided any current, external current to this. Okay, there is no external resistance or a bulb or any other external circuit. This means the potential is same at all points in the solution. Here also it is same, here also it is same, but even in solution also it is same. And there will be no flow of current as there is no external circuit. Now, in the absence of electric field, in the absence of current, what will be the potential difference? So let us calculate what will be the Potential difference in the absence of electric current, not electric field. I told it wrong. In the absence of electric current. Okay. So what will be the potential difference between P and N, that is between two rods, when there is no electric current? So what will be the potential difference? I can write V plus, because we have given the potential as V plus, and the difference, we are finding out the potential difference. So it will be negative minus V minus. V plus is the potential across P and V minus is the potential across negative. So what we get, V plus and this thing minus V minus. Okay, but this is minus, right? This is negative because this is positive and this is negative. So we can write V plus minus of minus V minus. Why did I take this minus? Because this is a positive rod and this is a negative rod. Therefore, I am taking it as negative. So what will be the final answer? V plus minus into minus will be plus and V minus. So this difference, and this is called the difference between the two cells. Okay, this is called as the electromotive force. What it is called as? The electromotive force, or in simple we call it as EMF, electromotive force of the cell, and it is denoted by E. So E is equal to V plus plus of V minus. So this is the expression for electromotive force. This is the potential difference between the electrode when there is no external current supplied. Now let us connect an external circuit to this. Let me connect an external circuit to these electrodes. So what I will do, I will connect. So I will connect here. I will connect it like this, and here, okay, I'll draw it again. So I will connect an external resistor here. Okay, I will connect an external resistance here, and the current flows from P to N. Why P to N? Because from the higher level to the lower level, the current is flowing from this end to this end. Let this be the external resistance R, and this is current. So this now I am providing the external circuit. Now I am providing the current. The earlier case there was nothing. Okay, there was nothing due to the chemical reaction. The charges were moving. Now I am providing the current. So what happens? That time, and during when we supply current, during this time, R will be at infinity. That is R, if R is at infinity. I will provide you the notes. Just understand. R is equal, but you have to write the notes. Whatever I am explaining, make points and write the notes. Therefore, if R is equal to infinity, then I will be equal to V by R, and this will be equal to 0. Okay, this will be equal to 0. Therefore, what will be the potential difference? Potential difference can be written as from P to A, one will be from P to A, that is potential difference across P to A plus potential difference between V A and B, that is V A B, and the potential difference across B and N. So it will be V B N. Why? I started from here, P A, A B and B N. So this can be written as the EMF. EMF is the potential difference between the positive and the negative end in the open circuit. Okay, that is V is equal to this thing. What? EMF. If R is equal to finite. So now next case is if R is equal to finite. If R is finite. If R is finite, then I will not be equal to 0. I is not equal to 0. So that time V becomes V is equal to V plus, we'll consider only this, V plus plus of V minus minus IR. IR. Okay, minus IR. So what is it? V plus and V minus, we know that. That is nothing but the EMF. This is equal to EMF minus IR. So we have V is equal to E minus IR. So let me call this as equation 1. Here, I flows from B to A. In the electrode, it flows from B to A. By Ohm's law, what we have, this concept is little confusing, okay? Please try to understand. One is when you are not providing the current, and then you provide the current, and then there are two cases. R is when R is infinite, that time I is equal to 0. Therefore, you take the potential across these points, and when R is finite, I is not equal to 0, and then you consider these two potential differences and IR, okay, and you consider IR. Now the current I is flowing from B to A. So what will be the I is flowing from A to B. Now then, according to Ohm's law, what do we have? By Ohm's law we have V is equal to IR. This is the Ohm's law. So let this be equation 2. So can you compare equation 1 and equation 2? Can you compare equation and equation 2? They both are equal. So what I will do? IR is equal to E minus I small r. Why small r and why capital R? This is the current passing through the external resistance, and this is the current passing through the internal resistance. So capital R is the external resistance and small r is the internal resistance. So current passing through capital R, that is the external resistance, is IR, and the current passing through internal resistance is I into small r. So if I solve this, what I will get? Let me take this outside. So I will get IR plus IR. Simple thing I'm doing, because I took this IR over here, so minus becomes plus. E is equal to IR plus IR. What is common here? I is common. Take it out. That will be R plus R, right? E. Now if I just want I, so cross multiply. E is equal to R plus R. So this is the expression for what? This is the expression for cell, okay? EMF, sorry. This is the expression for current in a cell, okay? So for maximum current, for maximum current, R is equal to 0. That is, here maximum is nothing but infinite. R will be equal to 0. Therefore, I max. If I consider this R is equal to 0, then I have I is equal to E by R. So this is for maximum current. You won't get this derivation. Okay, don't worry. You don't get this derivation. But you will get the derivations in the combinations of the cell. That is very important. But to understand the combination of cells, you require these expression. One is this. You will require this expression, and then you require this expression, and even the Ohm's law. So that is why I was explaining you the construction of the cell, and what are the expressions when you are considering a cell when there is no current flowing in it, and the second case when the current is flowing in it, and next is when R is infinite, and next R is finite. So these are the expressions you get. Okay, so now let us begin with the second concept, that is the combination of the cell. So this is all about the cell, EMF and internal resistance. You won't get this derivation. Even if you get this derivation, it's a very simple derivation. But the most important derivation in the cell concept is the combination of cell. Similarly, you have the combinations in the capacitors as well as resistors. The same thing you have here in the cell. So the cells can be grouped in two types, or they can be arranged in two combination. That is the series combination and the parallel combination. You have come across the series combination and the parallel combination of the capacitors as well as resistors, and even those two derivations are also very important. In case of capacitors, you will have two derivation, that is series and parallel. Similarly, in case of resistors, you have two derivation, that is series combination and parallel combination. And again, in the cells, you have two derivation, that is series and parallel. So all these six derivations are very, very important. You will get either of the three derivations, okay? Either series in capacitor, parallel in resistor, and series or parallel in cell. You will get one question. It's a fixed question in your board exam. So now let us understand the series combination of the cell. So let us understand the series combination. series combination of the cell. Please don't get confused with the combinations of capacitors, resistors, and cell. Practice them. The concept is same, whereas the derivation is different. So let us understand the series combination. Now let us consider two cells. Let us consider two cells. Okay, there are two cells. Okay, two cells. Let E1 be the EMF of first cell and E2 be the EMF of second cell, and then R1 be the internal resistance of cell 1 and R2 be the internal resistance of cell 2. In series combination, which is very important, understand, in series combination, the negative end of the first cell is connected to the positive end of the second cell. Okay, the negative end of the first cell is connected to the positive end of the second cell. So this is the arrangement in series combination. What is it? The negative end of the first cell is connected to the positive end of the second cell. So this is how we arrange the cells in series combination. Now let us consider 3 points. Let us consider 3 points, A, B and C. So this is A, this is B, and this is C. Okay, let us consider 3 points A, B and C. Now AB, what is this? This is the end, two ends of this cell 1, and these are the two ends of cell 2. So I have named it as A, B and C. Now the potential difference between A and C. We have to find out the potential difference between A and C. So what will be the potential difference between A and C? And of course, this is connected to the resistor and the current is flowing. We have an imaginary resistor like this. Okay, it is connected to a resistor and the current is flowing to it. So it is flowing from positive to, it goes from here and to negative, positive to negative. So the current is flowing. So what will be the potential difference across A and C? The potential difference across A and C is given by VAB. Write it as a VAB. Okay, I will write it. VAB plus VBC. So what is VAB? Potential difference of cell 1, and VBC is the potential difference of 2. So if you want the potential difference across both the cells, you need to add them. So I have done it. VAB plus VBC. From the previous concept where we understood about the construction of the cell, we know that V is equal to E minus IR. I told you, right? These expressions are very important to derive the expression for series and parallel, what we did in the previous explanation. So we have V is equal to E minus IR. So what will be the substitution here? What will be the substitution? If I consider for this and this, what I will have? If I consider for cell 1, this can be written as what? E, okay, E1 minus IR1 plus E2 minus IR2. Don't get confused with the epsilon and this. Epsilon is this is E. In some textbook, this EMF is written as like this. Okay, in some textbook and in some notes, you will find EMF written as same like epsilon. Please don't get confused. This is EMF and this is epsilon. Okay, and in some textbook, epsilon is written like this, but one is EMF and one is epsilon. So to avoid the confusion, I am considering this as epsilon and this as EMF. So let me come here. Okay, what did I do? This is for potential of cell 1 and this is for potential of cell 2. So what will be V for this? Even IR minus IR1, E2 minus IR2. So what will be the common thing here? Take the common here, E1 plus E2. I am taking the EMF on one side and then the current on one side. Understood? This is what I did. Now what I will do, let me call this as equation 1. Now what I will do, instead of two cells, I will replace it with a one single cell. What I will do, I will replace it with one single cell. Okay, this is positive and this is negative. It is connected to a resistor. I will replace it with one single cell, which is equivalent single cell. That is, I have given you the example, same example in resistors as well as in capacitor. If this is 10, this is 10, and if I replace it with 20, there is no difference. So I replace it with the equivalent cell, and I call it as ES, and the internal resistance of this cell is RS. So what did I do? I replaced, like how we did in resistors and in capacitors. I replaced these two cells with a single equivalent cell, and I named it as ES. The EMF is ES and the internal resistance is RS. Then this V can be written as V is equal to ES minus IRS. ES minus IRS. So this is the expression. This is the expression for what? Series combination of the cell, where ES is equal to E1 plus E2 plus so on up to En, and RS is equal to R1 plus R2 plus so on up to Rn. You can replace this ES and RS. The representation you can even write as E equivalent and R equivalent. Okay, this can be written as ES also, RS also. YS to indicate that it is in a series combination, or you can write E equivalent, R equivalent. Both are correct. So I prefer ES because it is clear that you are writing for the series, and in parallel I refer it as EP. Okay, both are same. So this is the derivation for the series combination of the cell, and this is the expression. Understood? This is the expression. And write this also. When you write the expression, write these two lines also, where ES is equal to E1, E2, E3, so on up to En, and RS is equal to R1, R2, R3, so on up to Rn. So this is the expression of series combination. Now let us understand the parallel combination of the cell. Parallel combination. Parallel combination is little lengthy. Parallel combination is little lengthy but easy. Let us solve it. Parallel combination. So same thing. Let us consider two cells. Okay, let us consider two cells A and B. Let us name this as cell A and cell B. And they are having the EMF E1, E2 and the internal resistors R1, R2. Okay, internal resistors R1 and R2. Okay, so now in the parallel combination, please remember the positive end of A is connected to the positive end of B, whereas the negative end of A is connected to the negative end of B. In series, the negative end and the positive end was connected, but here the positive end of one cell is connected to the positive end of another cell. Similarly, the negative end of one cell is connected to the negative end of the another end, and same, it is connected to external resistor, and the current flows through them. Okay, and here the potential difference across these 2 points is constant. The potential difference is constant, whereas the currents get divided. The current gets divided. Let I1 be the current flowing through this cell A or cell 1, and I2 be the current flowing in cell 2. So in series, the current is same, whereas the potential difference is different. In this case, in parallel case, the current is different, the potential difference is same. Therefore, the current flowing through E1 and E2, that is the total current, can be written as I is equal to I1 plus I2. Total current is equal to I1 plus I2. From the previous expression, we know that V is equal to E minus IR. So E minus IR. IR can be written as IR is equal to E minus V. I took E this side, and now I just want I. So I is equal to E minus V by R. Right? Simple mathematics, E minus V by R. So now what will be I1? If I consider this expression, and I want to write I1 in same manner, what I will get? I1 is equal to E1, potential is same, that will be V, and internal resistor R1. For I2, it will be E2, potential difference is same, V, and this will be R2. So if I substitute these two equations in this equation 1, if I consider this as equation 1, and if I substitute these two, what I will get? I is equal to, yes, I is equal to E1 minus V divided by R1 plus E2 minus V divided by R2. Okay, and if I solve this by applying simple mathematics, what I will get? E1 by R1 minus V by R1 plus E2 by R2 minus V by R2. So take this EMF one side and the potential one side. So what I will get? E1 by R1, it is plus, so I'll write plus E2 by R2, and minus minus, so it will be minus, and V is common, let me take it out, 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. So this is very simple mathematics. Now what I will do? I will cross multiply this. If I cross multiply this and even this, what I will get? E1 R2, I am cross multiplying like this, plus E2 R1 divided by LCM R1 R2. Similarly, V is common, keep it out. We will have R2 plus R1 divided by R1 R2. Okay, so this is what? I. But we have to find V here, right? Not I. We have to find V. For that, let us rearrange the equation. See, we have to find out V, not R. For that, let us rearrange the equation. Let me erase this part and then I will write it here. We have to rearrange. How will you rearrange? Just take I this side. Okay, I rearrange the equation, interchange the LHS and RHS. What we will have? Simple. From here I am doing the simple mathematics. Okay, from here, from this part I am doing simple mathematics. From this part I am doing the simple mathematics, which you all should be knowing. Okay, I don't have to explain every single step of mathematics, but still I am doing for your understanding. Okay, this is not my duty to explain you the mathematics. You have to do it, but for your understanding I'm doing all the steps. Okay, so now I have to find out V. So if I want to find out V, what I should do? V, I will take it here, R2 R1, R2 plus R1 divided by whole, this is whole bracket, divided by R1 R2 equal to, this remains same, even R2 plus E2 R1 divided by R1 R2. This I will take it this side, and V I am taking this side. So this negative signs become plus and this becomes negative. So this is minus I. Did you understand? This is a common mathematics. This I took over here. So this became plus, and this one I took here. So this became minus. So this is what we got. But we just want V. So what I will do? I will multiply it here. E1 R2 plus E2 R1 divided by R1 R2 whole divided by this thing, R2 plus R1 divided by R1 R2 minus I. This one gets cancelled. What do we have? What do we have? We have E1 R2 plus E2 on this is E2 R1 divided by R1 plus R2, and same thing you should do for this also, I into R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2. This thing you have to same thing you have to multiply this step. No, you should multiply on with this also. Okay, you should do it with this also. What it will be? R1 plus R2 divided by R1 R2. So it goes here and you will get this. This is what V is equal to this expression. So let me call this as equation. Which equation it is? Equation 2. Let me call this as equation 2. Now what I will do, this is lengthy. Okay, this derivation is lengthy only because of the mathematical steps. There is no physics here. From here, from this part to till this part, we have just done the simple mathematics. So the derivation is lengthy. Now comes the physics. So now what I will do, instead of 2 batteries or 2 cells, I will replace it with one equivalent cell. I will replace it with one equivalent cell. So what I will have, if I replace it with one equivalent cell, if I replace, I will have, just a second, I will erase it. So this is very simple. Only because of the mathematical uh, functions or the mathematical derivations, it is looking lengthy, but it is very simple. So if I replace the 2 cells with one equivalent cell, I will get V is equal to EP or E equivalent minus IRP. Okay. Why? Because V is equal to this minus IR. We are taking the replacement of equivalent cell, which is having the EMF E equivalent or EP, and the internal resistance R equivalent or RP. So what I can write now from the equation 1, from this equation 1, what I can write? EP can be written as what? EP can be written as E1 R2 plus E2 R1 divided by R1 plus R2. This whole thing I am considering it as EP, and this whole thing I am considering it as RP, and RP can be written as what? R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. If I simplify these two, in terms of reciprocal, what I will get? I will get 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. And if I want epsilon P by EP by Rp, I will get E1 by R1 plus E2 by R2. So this is the expression for the parallel combination of the cell. From here you might be getting confused. Nothing. This one I considered it as EP here, and this one I considered as RP. So same thing I've written, where EP is equal to this, where RP is equal to this. And if I want to write the reciprocal, or if you solve this, if you simplify this, you will get 1 by RP is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. This is nothing but the expression for the parallel combination of resistors, right? So same thing, if you get it, if you simplify, you will arrive at this expression, and EP by RP will give you E1 by R1 plus E2 by R2. And if there are n number of cells with a EMF, with n number of EMF and n number of internal resistance, we can write EP by RP is equal to E1 by R1 plus E2 by R2 plus so on up to En by Rn. So this is the expression for the parallel combination of the capacitor. So this was all about, parallel combination of the cell. So this was all about the cell, the EMF and the internal resistance. These two derivations are very important. That is the series combination of the cell and the parallel combination of the cell. So in the next class, we are going to deal with Kirchhoff's law, which is very, very important, and the meter bridge. So let us wind up the class, and we'll meet in the next class. So thank you.